Mm, 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 mm. Hey student, in this grammar in use lesson, I want to talk to you about the difference between while and when and while. Which one should you use? Well, check out this lesson because it is gold. Hey there, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I am here with different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. So consider subscribing if you have already done so. If you're already here, a member of this beautiful community, I can only say thank you. Hit the like button to support the channel, but let's keep rolling. When or while, which one should you use? Well, actually, you should use both. But let's understand some important differences, okay? And I was preparing the lesson, and there is so much information to share that I had to narrow down the number of explanations that I was going to share in this lesson. So there are more explanations about while and when, okay? A few more explanations, but to make this lesson more objective, I will show you some. If you would like to have like part two, well, let me know. If you want another lesson with more explanations about when and while, and I'll be happy to come back. Okay, guys, here on my channel, I help specific students. Maybe it's your first time watching this video. Every day, I have many new people coming and watching my channel, watching my lessons, and I help specific students, pre-intermediate and intermediate students. I help them go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. That's my goal. That's what I do here on the internet. And guys, at this level, the transition level, you will review when, you will review while, you will need to study these words, okay? Because they help you connect ideas in a sentence. They help you explain things that are happening. So it's important to understand the difference and complement your experience so that you can use these words more efficiently. Now, watch this lesson, take notes, and what I always tell my students, to learn a lesson, I must use it. So post examples in the comments, review the lesson, take notes, make this lesson a productive experience, okay? That's what I do with my babies inside my academy. I invite them to post examples on the platform. Yesterday, I was in a workshop with my babies, with my students, a grammar workshop. And the workshop was supposed to be 45 minutes, but we stayed 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I explained to them a grammar point, and then they created examples, and I was correcting live in the chat only with my babies. So it's so powerful when you take a lesson, you watch, you study, you take notes, and then you use it. Okay? Now, when I will give you some simple explanations, and then by the end of the lesson, I will focus on some key differences, but based on the examples and explanations, you will begin to understand the difference between them. Okay, so when can be an adverb, a pronoun, or a conjunction. Now my main focus here is as a conjunction. You're connecting ideas, so you're going to use when and while a lot. What I can tell you right off the bat is that when and while can be synonyms when used as a conjunction. So you may see them being used interchangeably, with no difference in meaning in most cases. It's only when you want to give a certain emphasis that you will choose one over the other, and that's what I want to focus on. So it basically means when basically means at the time or during the time that. It can also mean after. For example, can you call me when you finish this document? So call me when you finish, after you finish the document, okay? But it can also mean at the time. So call me, if there's a song, call me when you want, call me when you need. I don't even know if this is the lyrics. I don't even know if it's call me, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm creating the lyrics in my head. But call me when you need anything. In this case, it's not after. Call me when you need, maybe at the time you need something. So it changes, so it can mean different things. So this is one way to use when, okay? Now, when, as I said, you were going to use when to introduce, well, I'm repeating the explanation, but now moving on. You will use when to introduce a clause that talks about an event that happens at the same time as some longer event that was happening. That was happening. There's a that missing in the main clause, okay? I think I need to fix this because I posted way too many examples. I really wanted to bring examples, so I wrote way too many. Let me fix this slide. Ah, my God, I can't find my own slides. Because I had to remove some information because there was too much information. But let's go. Now, I was listening to music when my sister called. Okay, so the event that was longer is listening to music. I was listening to music when my sister called. Now, the sister calling is a probably shorter event, okay? That's why it's so important to interpret the phrase. Let me fix the slide. All right, now it's good. Slide 5. I like to fix this because it'll stay here like forever. So why not take the time to just fix this one? I think now it's done. Oh, there you have it. Use when to introduce a clause that talks about an event that happens at the same time as some longer event. So there is one longer event happening, okay? So here, go. Oh, it removed the slide. Sorry, guys, it'll stop here. But anyway, let's go. I was cooking when the kids arrived. So the kids arriving, the fact of the kids arriving is a little shorter than cooking. Okay, I was cooking when the kids arrived. I was not paying attention when you asked me the question. This happens a lot. Don't do that, okay? So I was not paying attention is a little longer than when you asked the question. Maybe you asking the question was 30 seconds. Okay, so I want to give this focus. And guys, one explanation that you can take, and I will mention this again after a few slides, is that when will often be used next to simple past phrases. Okay. Now, I am not explaining questions with when, using the different uses of when. I'm really focusing when I am connecting clauses, when I'm connecting sentences, and this happens a lot in the simple past. It is possible to use this in the present, in the future. But I need to make this lesson objective, okay? So a lot of the examples I'm going to share with you will be in the past simple because that's where we see the difference between while and when, okay? So I was cooking when the kids arrived. So the kids arriving is a bit shorter than the main clause, okay? I was cooking. Oopsie daisy. So I was cooking is a little longer. And then I interrupt. Well, not interrupt, but I am showing another action that happened at that time when the longer action was happening, okay? Now, another situation when I'm going to use when, okay? I feel very tired when I don't sleep 8 hours. How many hours do you need? Do you absolutely need to sleep at night? Let me know in the comments. To me, 7. I need 7 hours. If I don't sleep 7 hours, I feel funny. I feel tired. So tell me about yourself. I want to know. That's the question of the day, okay? Participate. So whenever I want to give the idea of every time. So in this example, when I say I feel tired when I don't sleep 8 hours, I could easily say every time. I feel very tired every time I don't sleep 8 hours. It's fine. James always calls when he needs help. Calls me if I want to, calls. He always calls, James always calls me Every time, no, James calls me every time he needs something. Then I wouldn't use always. James calls every time he needs something. It's better. It sounds better. I don't need to overemphasize always because I'm using every time. So he calls me every time he needs help, which is always, you know? Just saying, stop calling, James. Anyway, when to talk about periods of time, and I am connecting the phrases. Look at this example. This example is real to me. So I am talking about past periods of time and I'm connecting phrases because you will use this a lot, these words when and while, to connect ideas. So look, my mother, this is real. Me, Priscilla. My mother used to call me Prica when I was a child. It's true. She called me Prica, 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 Prica. So here I can use when, I don't use while. Because when will indicate this longer activity that happened in the past. While doesn't give that idea. While focuses on progress, okay? And I will show you more explanations about why. I'm just talking about when, okay? So my mother used to call me Prica when I was a child. Another example, the school was much safer when teachers required students to wear a uniform. So all the way back in the past, oh, it was so much safer when the kids had to wear a uniform. Okay, can I make this example with while? Yes, but then I change the idea a little. But here my focus is talking about past periods of time. So with that idea, with that sense, it's better. And even with verb to be, which is a state verb, it's not an action verb. You will use when. So with verb to be, in most cases, if it's only to be, not continuous, I was doing, I was listening. If it's the state verb to be, then when is going to be your best friend, okay? If you pay attention, two examples are shown with verb to be. So another one, I loved literature when I was in college. So yeah, during that time, during that past period of my life, I loved literature. It was amazing. Do you like literature? Let me know. Now, guys, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It really helps, but it also helps when you share. When you share this lesson, you help other people. Not just me, you are helping me. Believe me, when you share, you help me. But you're also helping another English student when you share on groups, with your friends, family members. So do your share. And if you're interested, I have an amazing study plan cycle that will definitely help students who are not in my academy, who need organization, who don't know how to use the internet in their favor to organize their study routine efficiently. So make sure to check it out, and also my listening mastery workshop that will show you the best practices so that you can understand native and non-native speakers anywhere, anytime. Now, while, also a conjunction, it means during the time that something is happening. It is a synonym of while. That's why if you use when instead of while, in most cases, it is okay. It is correct. Okay? Of course, there are differences. But what I always tell my students, I always tell my babies that fluency is communication, not perfection. As a teacher, as a professional, I will always come here and show you the correct structure, correct ways, verbs, nouns, the proper way to communicate to the best I can. But at the end of the day, oh, I used when. Fine, that's good. Oh, but I used while and I was supposed to use when. Fine, it's okay. But it's important that in your study routine, you include these lessons like the ones I'm sharing so that you improve, so that you keep growing on your journey. That's what I always say, and I will always repeat that, okay? Now, I was cleaning the house while the kids played outside. Or while the kids were playing outside. Okay, so I was cleaning the house while the kids played outside, simple past, or while the kids were playing outside. So with while, I can use continuous, okay? It is pretty common to do that in the past. So while I was listening to music, my sister was dancing. Okay, while I was cooking, my boyfriend was setting the table. While I was finishing dinner, my boyfriend was setting the table. That's good. Okay, it's fine. Or while I cooked dinner, my boyfriend watched TV. More likely. Okay, so that's the idea. That's the point I'm making, and I will explain a little more. There's some more information, but that's an important difference you need to understand, and it's possible for you to use continuous plus while. Okay, you can't do that with when. As I said, with when you will typically use past, not continuous. Oh, but teacher, how about present? How about future? I'm focusing a lot on past because that's where students make mistakes. That's where you use this structure a lot. But you can use your imagination. You can use when. I will need to think. And the translation may change, okay? Because remember, when can have different translations. Okay, or maybe I'm thinking of a situation in the present. Okay, while you stay here, I will drop by my neighbor's house. Okay, while you watch TV, I'm gonna get something at the supermarket. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. So you need to think of a situation, a context, and then you will be able to use different tenses. Okay, now moving on. While, when talking about two long actions that continue at the same time. So this is important. This is common, and we go back to the continuous. Okay, now can you use past? You can. It's possible. Past continuous or continuous continuous. Possible. Okay, so look at the example. My husband took the kids to the park while I went shopping. Here, past. No problems. It's fine. Just remember that whenever I use past, I indicate conclusion. Okay? It was happening and it probably ended. So I'm showing conclusion, but here it's possible to use past or past continuous or continuous. Okay? Now, my hairdresser, maybe I went to the beauty salon. Okay? And 30 minutes later, I'm back home. And then my boyfriend is like, wow, that was so fast. You were gonna do your hair and your nails, so wow. And then I say, sweetie, while my hairdresser did my hair, my manicure did my nails. Hello? You know, you gotta be productive with your time. So that's the idea. That's what I am trying to say. My husband took the kids to the park while I went shopping. That's fine. Okay, so I can use while when talking about two long actions that continue at the same time, that are, that happen at the same time. It's okay. All right. Now, while you watch this lesson, while my sister is talking to my dad, and then if I stick to present, this is what I need to understand. That's why I didn't even use this conjugation here. If I do this in the present, it's probably gonna be a connection between present and future. So while you watch this lesson, I'm going to have breakfast. So you do one thing, I will do another. So in that case, it's a wonderful combo, a wonderful combination. So while you stay here, I'm going to check on my friend. Be right back. That's possible. Okay, I can't use when in that case. So you see, there you go. In that case, you don't use when. Moving on. While plus present continuous. Emphasis here, okay? We use while to focus on an action happening at a specific time. That is why it is often used with a continuous tense. While I was cooking, the kids watched TV. Can I use the kids were watching TV? Yes. But if you just use past, it's fine. But while plus continuous. While I was listening to music. While past. See? Simple past. Because if I use in the present, then I can say I can do that. But then present future. It's a very common combination. Okay? So while my sister was working, I made dinner. Okay? That's good. I made dinner. Or I was making dinner while my sister was working. Very nice. And when I use continuous, I'm just showing that the two actions were in progress at the same time. Ah, there you go. Oh, hello. Well, good morning. Well, guys. Well, that's rude, but anyway, life, Brazil, São Paulo, impossible not to have any noise at any time, I'm afraid. Now, present continuous again. You can also use, you can use while to show that a shorter action, usually in the past, happened during a longer action, usually in the past continuous. See, there is a small difference. If I use while present continuous and then past, or while present continuous, past continuous, and past continuous. If I use while plus continuous, while I was doing this, while I was listening to music, while I was watching TV, and I use past activity, it often means that this action was interrupting, okay? The longer action. That's fine. It causes this idea of interruption. So while I was cooking dinner, the phone rang while I was cooking dinner. So there is an interruption. The activity was in progress, and while is really good at this. Can I use when in this case? It's not a good idea, because when doesn't indicate that continuity, okay, the continuation. So it's better to use while if you're thinking of continuous, if you're focusing on showing progress. And here there was the interruption with the simple past. So the phone rang while I was cooking. Okay, that's good, very good. And with when, it would be possible, but you have to watch out that with while plus continuous is a great combination for you. Use while with actions that have a limited duration. I read a book while the cake was baking. The cake was baking. It's short. Well, how long do you bake a cake for? 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 25 minutes. Not longer than that, okay? You're going to burn the cake. Don't burn the cake. Never burn the cake. Subscribe. While I was a child, impossible to do this. While I was a child, you were a child. It's so wrong to say while. When I was a child, at the time I was a child, okay? Remember the meaning. At the time I was a child. When? With state verbs like this, to be, in most cases with to be indicating this, I was a child, then it's when, okay? But with action verbs, you will use while. So if it's indicating an action, baking, it's not, I'm not baking. I'm not indicating a state with bake. I'm indicating action. So when I was a child, very nice, I loved cakes. So that's important. Now, when or while, if you want to focus on an action that has a duration being in progress, you will use while plus a continuous tense. While I was making dinner, my sister called. I put washing and while I was making dinner, let me fix this. Which slide is this? 14. Let's fix it. Save. Yes, this one. Okay. So, while I was making dinner, my sister called. Excellent. I can also use when, but while is more appropriate. When I was making dinner, my sister called. Can I say that? Yes, you can. But it is more appropriate to say while, okay? I don't know where this light is. Anyway, in other cases, when you don't need to emphasize that an action was in progress or the action is short and without a significant duration, you will use when plus simple past. Okay? That's it. That's a very, very important difference. If the action is not so, doesn't have such a significant duration, the action is short, and I don't want to emphasize duration, I don't want to emphasize progress. In that case, my friend, very nice. Use when, no problems. But keep in mind, what I want you to take away from this lesson is keep in mind that when using while, thinking of the progress is important. And when using when, that's not so important anymore. You can use simple past. And why didn't I show you present, future, and other tenses? Because this is way more common in the past. This is a common combination of actions. I'm combining clauses, connecting ideas of one thing happening while the other was happening, or when the other was happening. There was an interruption, shorter and longer activities. And if I stick to present, as I gave you some examples, the idea changes a little. Okay, the meaning of the word changes. When, while, not as much. I showed you the possible combination, present, future with why. While you stay here, I'm gonna drop by the supermarket. I need to buy a few things. Okay? You stay here while you stay here while I go somewhere. Where? Well, I need to go somewhere. You know? Very well. It's possible. But again, context. Context is king, and that's my focus with this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. It was super long. Oh my god, the lesson was very long. Guys, I removed a lot of information and still the lesson was long, okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share, get my study plan cycle, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.